Martin Brodeur, Martin St. Louis, and Gary Bettman, okay, among others. So congratulations to them. So the commissioner and St. Louis and Brodeur will be Hall of Famers in 2018. So congratulations. Peter in Harrington Park. What's up, Peter?
Hello?
Yes, Peter, what's up?
It's Steve. It's not Peter.
Oh,
Steve.
sorry, it says Peter. I apologize.
That's okay. Mike, two things. I'm a long-suffering Met fan. And I just want to make two statements, and I'll listen to what you have to say. I agree with you 1,000,000% on Callaway. Well, we lost a close game. Listen, beginning of the year, everyone from the Yankees to the Mets are going to win 50 and lose 50. It's what you do in the other 62 games. The difference is the Yankees are going to win 85, 90%. And the Mets are going to win 10%.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with the managers, though. I mean, listen, if you put Callaway on the Yankees right now, they're going to have close to the same record.
Okay. The second thing...
But he hasn't managed the team well. But it's not, the team is not impossible to manage, but he has not done a good job.
No, I understand. It's just, like you said, game after game, he says the same
Well, I mean, he just
thing.
doesn't, there's not a lot you can say, but, I mean, he's just got to change it up a couple times. I mean, he really he's got to change it up.
The second thing, and I'll listen to what you have to say.
Okay.
If you're a Met pitcher, and every single time you go to the mound as a starter, and you have this feeling that if I give up one run, there's a good chance I'm not going to win the game, that puts a hell of a lot of pressure on you. Okay? And that's what's basically happening. Look at DeGrom. He gives up one run or no runs, and he can't win the game.
Well, I mean, DeGrom has pitched brilliantly, and he can't win the game. I mean, he went 11 straight starts without allowing more than 2 earned runs, which is brilliant pitching, and he only won 3 of the games because they don't score any runs. So, I mean, yes, pitchers who are on teams that don't score a lot pitch under pressure, but that hasn't, the Mets for a month had the best starting pitching in baseball. They didn't win a lot of games during that time because they couldn't score, and their bullpen isn't any good. See, one of the things I find at fault with them too is he has faith in guys in the bullpen that I just don't believe in. I mean, he's content to go to a couple of guys that he thinks that's who I'm building up to go to, and he goes there and it turns into a disaster every night. I mean, I've heard him on numerous occasions. And I'm talking about Callaway. I've heard him on numerous occasions talk about setting things up in certain situations for guys that I just, don't believe in. And I just I don't know why you're going there. I don't know why you're trying to set the team up for this guy because, frankly, the guy hasn't done anything all season. I mean, you've been waiting for the guy to do something. As an example, Swarzak is a guy that they have tried to set him up and heard him on numerous occasions talk about, I want to be able to turn the game over to Swarzak. Why? Every time he goes out there, you see him get pounded. The other day, he wants the game to get to Swarzak. Well, I got the game fine to Swarzak. Got it to Swarzak. He gave 6 hits and 3 runs in an inning. Got bounded for a couple of home runs. I mean, I've seen that too many times with him. Gerard in Englishtown. What's up, Gerard?
Hey, Mike. What's going on?
What's happening?
I'm trying to think, what your opinion is on, do the Yankees absolutely need another starting pitcher?
Yeah, they do. They do, yes. In my mind, they need a good starting pitcher. To go out and get a guy for the sake of getting a guy isn't going to work.
Because I think they need one more guy in the bullpen, too, because I don't think Shreve is cut.
I mean, that's fine if you can find a good lefty reliever, but that's very difficult to do. I mean, it's not an easy thing to find a very good lefty specialist. They're very hard to find.
And their bullpen is good enough.
No, their bullpen isn't good. Their bullpen's great. I mean, if you're going to list bullpens, their bullpen is at the top. Their bullpen is terrific. They are so strong at the back of the bullpen. It's unbelievable. But, they don't have a lefty other than Chapman. That's all there is to it. But they have righties that can get lefties out, which is a big positive. Jake in Towns River. What's up, Jake?
Hi, the Stanton guy. I'm not sure if you're going to agree with this.
Who are we talking about now, Stanton?
Stanton, yeah.
Oh, the Stanton guy. Got it. What's okay, what about the Stanton guy?
I'm sorry. So, I'm not sure if you're going to agree with me, but I feel like at the right times he becomes clutch. Maybe he's not trying so hard. You see on opening day, he gets up and hits 2 home runs. He has to prove who he is. Or he gets up that time and walks it off. Last night they desperately needed an RBI. He comes up with the RBI.
But,
I feel like he's not.
Yeah, and your point is?
I feel like he's not really trying so hard. Everybody knows who he is. He's the MVP. He doesn't have to prove himself. When they need him, he'll come up.
Okay, so your point is he's not trying? I don't know what your point is, to be honest with you. John in Breezy Point. What's up, John?
Hi, Mike.
Yes.
You know, as a fan, you know, in a big situation, you're pretty much hanging on every pitch. And when you need a run and the pitcher can't put the bat on the ball, okay, but you know what annoyed me was seeing all the pitchers in the bullpen and the dugout cracking up laughing. I mean, like it's a sideshow. I mean, you don't expect these guys to get a hit or drive the ball. Greg Bird don't even do that.
American League
I'd like
pitchers.
to see Greg Bird lay down a bunt.
American League pitchers don't take hitting seriously. They don't hit in the minor leagues. They don't hit on the way up.
I understand that,
They don't take hitting seriously.
But they should practice bunting. There were two situations last night. You let the kid go, Loizaga. He came up with one out man on third. Okay, maybe you let him look at look at a couple pitches, but Betances, you know, now it's later in the game. Try and put the bat on the ball.
John, get back to the real world. American League teams are not going to get their relief pitchers ready to hit. They're not going to hit. They're never going to hit, John. The odds on it, the times American League reliever is going to hit once a year. He's going to hit. That's a lot if he hits once a year. That's all he's going to hit is once a year. That's all there is to it. I understand it was an odd situation, but that's a very rare situation. Betances probably won't get another at-bat. How many at-bats has Betances had in his career? I'll use that as the example for you, okay? If Betances has more than 5 at-bats or 6 at-bats, I'll apologize and say I was wrong. I guarantee you it's under 10. If it probably isn't even 10. It's probably like 5 or 6, if it's even 5 or 6. I mean, the point is...
Was his first at-bat since high school?
As the first at-bat since high school. There's my point. The point is these guys don't hit. The starting pitchers don't want to hit. They don't want to run the bases. Baseball's got a dumb situation here. They don't have 2 leagues anymore. They have 1 league. They've canceled the umpires. There's no difference in the umpires. They've canceled the league offices. They no longer have American and National League offices. They need to have 1 rule. What they have is stubborn NL owners that don't want to give in and admit the DH is the way to go. Every league in the world uses the DH except the National League. And they want to keep it so they can be different, but the leagues are not different anymore. The leagues are the same. Baseball has been unified. There is no longer 2 leagues. There is 1 league. It's run all together except for one thing, the DH. And it's silly. They should have a uniformity of rules. Are they going to take the DH out? Not in this lifetime. It's a high-paying job. The Players Association would never agree. Plus, every other league in the world is playing with a DH. The DH's time has come. I understand there's some people who would tell you that this is the end of baseball as you know it. It's nonsense. These hitters, half the time, you're watching guys at the plate that don't hit. And NL pitchers, with rare exceptions, are automatic outs. They don't run the bases well. You'd rather see real players do their job. Let the pitchers do their jobs. Let the hitters do their job. The DH is the way to go. It's the only realistic thing. George in Oceanside. What's up, George?
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
What's happening?
I got a quick question. Do you think Joe Girardi will be coaching next year, and which teams do you think might be going for him if he is?
I think he will be managing next year, George. I think he will be managing. I could not tell you where he would manage. The only thing Joe has told me is that he doesn't have to have a ready-made contender. He told me he would take over a team that needed work. So that would put him in play for just about anybody, since he doesn't have to be a contending team. But I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will be back. He told me he wants to be back next year. I'm sure he will be. I could not tell you where because I think he'll be somebody's first call. So I'm sure there's a very good chance that he'll be the manager next year somewhere. Neil in Manalapan. What's up, Neil? Neil going once. Gone. Greg in Mayapack. What's up, Greg?
Thanks for taking the call, Mike.
Yes, what's up?
Mike, I'm going to quote you on this one. It appears to me that the Mets might be actually entering dark days of Mets baseball number 2. Because I'll tell you, the last two big salaries that the Wilpons wrote a check, Wright and Cespedes, we never see them. They never play, which means they have no incentive at the end of this season to write a huge check for Manny Machado or Bryce Harper. And then now you look down into the minor leagues, there's nobody down there to come up and help straighten the situation out. Mike, the only way they can get out of this is if the Wilpons write big checks, and I don't see it happening. It could get bad for a long time around here, Mike.
Well, that was Bobby V's point. If you saw the story today, and Bobby V's point was they need to make the big pitcher move to replenish the organization. Hey, if they can get 3 players that can contribute for them right now and be everyday starters for them, then I would not be against trading one of the 2 pitchers. They got to be the right players, though. They have to be the right players. You can't mess that up. You cannot mess it up. And I would be looking myself. Now, you got to get Syndergaard back here before you could deal him. They love DeGrom. They don't want to deal DeGrom. DeGrom obviously brings you the most. But I understand the idea of the thought process that brings you that. I also would bring these kids up. These guys, you cannot tell me that Alonso and McNeil coming to the major leagues are going to do worse than these Met hitters are doing. You cannot tell me they're going to do worse than any of these guys. I really don't believe they will. I think they will do better than some of these guys, and I think you need to see them. I think you need to see McNeil. I think you need to see Alonso. Let's see what they are. And that will at least give you something to watch. It'll give you something to believe in. It'll give you something to have a little interest in. It'll give you something to get excited about. Tell me a Met fan that wouldn't want to see Alonso hit, just to see if he can hit, just to see if he can hit home runs here. Maybe he's a butcher at first base. Maybe he is. But you know what? You're playing Plawecki at first base. Come on now. You've allowed that situation to be that bad. That it's Plawecki at first base, then you know what? If that's the case, bring him up and let's see him. McNeil's hitting 371 in AAA. I understand it's a hitter's league. So what? He's hitting 371. He's not hitting 271. He's hitting 371. Bring him up and let's see him play. Matt in Manhattan. What's up, Matt?
Yeah, now for all the people that wanted Gary Sanchez out of town, I know it's only one game,
but listen, that's not even worth discussing.
Well, it's like a switch went off in Romine.
Well, listen, Romine started slumping before this. Now he's 4 for 25, counting last night. And you knew that was going to happen.
Chapman to throw sliders. He's forcing Chapman to throw sliders.
Listen,
at the end of the game.
Romine can catch, though. He can catch. Okay.
No, I know he can.
He
can
catch.
A bad game.
He did, and he can catch. But you know what? His offense, which everyone has been raving about, we know wasn't real. So now he's already down to 290. He's 4 for his last 25, and now you're going to be yelling for Sanchez soon. I mean, because the guys are like, oh, I got by Romine. Well, that's what goes on in life, but nobody takes that seriously. No one who knows what they're talking about is going to be yelling for Romine. Romine was hitting 350, but he was playing once a week. Every day, as we said yesterday, his average will be down 250, 260 very soon. Well, it's already down to 291. It was 350 last week. He's 3 for his last 24. Rick in Morristown. What's up, Rick?
Hey, Mike, I could have sworn listening to the game last night with the Yankees that David Cohn brought up a statistic that said the lifetime batting average of all combined pitchers is 109. That is not fun to watch.
Listen, anybody who watches baseball and tries to tell you that it's exciting to see pitchers hit is utter nonsense. 1 out of every 20 pitchers can really hit. And here's the thing. How many times do you see them bail out an inning by just pitching around the 8th hitter and striking out the pitcher who asked for the ball on the 3rd strike as he goes back to the mound? Pedro Martinez used to say, I get every 3rd inning off in the National League. I am not trying to minimize National League Baseball. What I'm telling you is the world has changed. We're in an age of specialization. The DH has taken hold, not only in Major League Baseball, in every part of baseball. It is also a high-paying job that the union would never, ever allow to go away. That being the case, you have unified every other part of baseball. You have no more National American League. You have no more American League president, National League president. You have no longer have American League, National League umpires. You have now baseball. You have to have one set of rules. You cannot have these guys. You know, the Yankees go into an NL park and they're scared to death of having their pitchers hit and run the bases. The Yankees don't want their pitchers running the bases and hitting in the National League parks. They're afraid they're going to get hurt. They've had pitchers get hurt already. On numerous occasions, they've had pitchers get hurt. They don't want this to go on. And you want Betances to know how to hit? The guy hasn't had a swung at bat since he was in high school. What is he doing up in a major league game? You're telling me that's good baseball, that Betances up last night? How is that good baseball? Is that pure baseball that watched Betances up there last night? That is utter nonsense. The idea. 9 out of 10 pitchers are automatic outs. That is so overrated. And the double switch, my God, you act like we're talking about, nuclear fusion here. I mean, come on. Dino in New York, what's up, Dino?
I'm sorry, hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good, what's up?
I'll be very quick. I totally agree with what you just said as far as bringing up Alonso and the other gentleman, because why is Plawecki at first base? He's a catcher, in my opinion.
He's a catcher who's not even a good hitter. That's what I understand he hit a 3-run homer the other day. I understand that. But he's not a big-time hitter. It's time to see Alonso and McNeil. It's time to see what they can do. They will at least breathe some life into the franchise. And baseball's got to do some things here to protect themselves. They do. Number one, they're going to have to make a rule that there's going to be a legal defense. Because they thought the hitters, and Manfred thought the hitters would do this themselves, that they thought the teams and the hitters individually would take the defenses out of their shifts by making them pay by hitting the ball where they ain't. Except one thing. The economic advantages and the economic chase to hit home runs and be paid for your home runs is so great that these guys don't even want to give up an at-bat. Because they are not hurt by outs anymore. They're not hurt by strikeouts, and they're paid by home runs. And as long as that goes on, that's what they're going to go up there to do. Hit home runs, where they're paid to hit home runs. That's how they get paid. They don't get paid for productive outs. They get paid for home runs. So this has become a game of home runs and strikeouts. And they need to protect baseball from itself by not having these guys hit into these shifts all the time. Because I know that they thought, because Manfred told me this will sort itself out. We'll get teams that will have hitters spray the ball all over the place. When do we see it? Never. We never see it. We don't even see guys trying to push a bunt down third base because they want to try and hit it out of the park. So baseball has got to come up with one set of rules. They have got to speed the game up. They have got to take the shift out of the sport. All you do is make a rule of how many players can be on one side of second base when the ball is pitched. It's easy to do. Do the math. You can only have 1, 2, 3, 4. Not counting the catcher and the pitcher, you can only have 4 on one side of second base. That's all. Case closed. That's the rule. Easy to do. Because baseball has not corrected this itself. And they've got to put some action back in the sport. Joe in Brooklyn, what's up, Joe?
Hey, Mike, welcome back.
Thank you. What's up?
Talking about the changes of baseball, I think the way the Major League deals with these changes, sort of like with the walk, they just change it to no more pitching, give him first base. It takes them so much time to come up with these ridiculous answers, and there's many problems. We talked about the DL with the National League. We talk about what you're saying with the fielding. The batters coming out of the box that it's extended the game, the length of the season. I think, to me, baseball has so many problems they need to deal with, and they're taking so long to solve these problems, one at a time, that eventually it's going to collapse. It's going to come down.
Well, I think you'll see baseball really do some facelifting. I really think you will. I don't think you'll get the season shortened. I think it would be a very smart thing to do on both sides. All you got to do is shorten the season 8 games, back to 154. That's all you have to do. You don't have to radically shake the game up. Just 8 games off the schedule. That's it. Balance the schedule back a little bit. 8 games off the schedule. Balance the schedule back a little bit. Put in a rule on the shift. And make the rules the same for every team in the sport. Baseball needs all of that. Coming to you live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.